Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2011 or 12, I'm not sure, Nissan Quest. It was towed in for a no crank condition, and the customer was playing with it, and he's got a couple of brake switches out. He might be on something here because it shows the display. This is a push button start, by the way, and it shows on the display, step on the brake to start. And when you step on the brake, key turns on, but it doesn't crank. And it seems like the battery is live because the interior lights are on and the dash lights work. So I'm going to have a look at the electrical diagram. Maybe we can bypass the starter relay and get this thing running so we can drive it in the shop. So here's a look at the starter circuit on this thing. Power for the starter control circuit comes from the 40 amp fuse, goes through a starter relay, and then through a starter control relay. There's two relays in this circuit. And the starter relay, the top one here, is ground side controlled by the body control module, so it has to enable it. And then the second relay is ground side controlled. No, maybe not. Maybe it's not ground side control. Well, anyways, the second relay is controlled by the intelligent power distribution module. So we're going to find the starter control relay if we can and see if we can put power to this terminal and start this vehicle so that I don't have to push it in. Well, it shows a picture of the intelligent power distribution module. I don't know why they got to make this so frickin' difficult to find. Just type in the location of the starter relay. Now I don't know if this is the starter control relay or the starter control relay, because in the schematic it shows two relays, one after the other. So I've located that one under the hood. Let's go and do some tests there and see if we can make it crank from there. So bypassing it at that relay didn't work, so I decided to put power directly to the S terminal of the starter that you can see down here. And lo and behold, the terminal has fallen off the S terminal. So I got a jumper wire that I can put in here, and with a remote start button I can make it crank. So I'm going to turn the key on and see if I can get it to start. Okay, so the ignition is on, and I'm going to put power to that S terminal. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Well, it's running now, but I can't get the shifter out of park, so I think that's probably because of the brake switch that he's got out of it, so it doesn't know I got my foot on the brake, so the shift interlock is not working. So I'm going to try this emergency release. Beautiful weather to be working outside. So basically pry that little plastic piece out of there and use a small screwdriver to push in on the release so that we can now drive it in the shop. So now it's in the shop. It'll be a little easier to work on this thing. So getting at that starter S terminal is not that convenient. I don't know why that machine screw fell out of there. Nobody's been here recently. I tried to take the computer out of the way here, but that's not happened. There's some bolts on the bottom of it. So I'll take the battery tray out. I gotta fix this ground cable here. The customer broke the bolt off. I gotta fix this positive cable as well. That one's kind of distorted. Well, that was painful. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 fasteners that hold this computer bracket down to the battery tray, and take off the 4 electrical connectors, and you can weasel the computer out of there. Now you can see that S terminal down here, and it's physically fallen off. Now, where did that screw go? I wonder if that was spot welded on there at one time. Maybe that wasn't screwed to it, but it looks like a screw thread in there. Let's zoom in on it. Certainly looks like a screw thread in there. think that was spot welded there. But let's see if we can repair it. So I took the battery tray out of the way, hoping to get a little bit more room, and look what's down beside the starter case. A small machine screw. See if I can fish that out of there. That's definitely the screw that held that S terminal onto the starter. So we'll clean that up, see if we can get in here with a roll-lock sanding disc and clean up that terminal on either side and put the screw back in. Some Loctite maybe. So I managed to get the terminal cleaned up with a roll-lock sanding disc on both sides of this, and I put some Loctite on the screw, threaded it in there, tightened it up. Get my sanding disc out of here. Let's put this thing back together now and then fix the brake switch that customer took apart. So the customer was playing with the brake switch, thinking that it might be the brake switch that was at fault. So he's taken it out. I believe the brown one is the original one, so we're going to put it back in. So it's back together. Let's see if it works. It's a beautiful thing. You got to make sure the brake lights come on. They do. Shifter works. Put this little cap back in place. Which way does it go? With the slot up, I believe. There you go. Make sure the gear shift works. Reverse, neutral, drive. Let's pay attention to the messages. See, that brake indicator comes on regardless whether you step on the brake or not. So he misinterpreted the message. He simply had a starter problem. So we'll call this one fixed. No parts required. Imagine that.